Today, we are looking at Trump's back and forth on Israel. Let's start with the bad Trump, the devil on the shoulder Trump. Let's start with that one. This is the now infamous moment where he says all hell will be breaking loose in the Middle East. Specifically Gaza is what he's meaning, but he references the Middle East. If the hostages aren't released by January 20th. Oh, it's coming up in less than a week. Did you guys hear him say that? Let's hear it again. Let's hear it.
Those hostages aren't back. I don't want to hurt your negotiation. If they're not back by the time I get into office, all hell will break out in the Middle East. And it will not be good for Hamas, and it will not be good, frankly, for anyone. All hell will break out. I don't have to say anymore, but that's what it is.
So obviously Fox News audience is fine with that. And I say obvious because they've been pushing that the whole way. They've the whole point of we gotta hit Hamas harder than the Democrats. We have to kiss Israel's ass more than the Democrats. Okay. So can the media report honestly on that? I mean, Fox doesn't have to. That's easy. They just do that. They just play that. That's pretty easy. How does the other stations respond to that? Well, I don't have the clips of that here, but how do they respond to that? They have to do this little dance about how the Democrats are going to be more receptive to Gaza, but at the same time, Kamala had to go on that stage at the debate and had to say, "No, we got Israel's back no matter what." So they are in a really, really bad spot there. Here's where things get a little more interesting. So Trump goes ahead, and if you guys didn't see this on Twitter, this blew up just a couple days ago, and I want to show you that this happened at the same time. So on one hand, he's saying all hell will be breaking loose in the Middle East, and then he goes and posts this clip of Jeffrey Sachs discussing the problems with Netanyahu and how he continues to bring us into war after war, endless wars, as if we are being not just guided but controlled by him. And Jeffrey Sachs calls him, I know you guys haven't heard of them, he's calling him a son of a bitch. This is to Netanyahu. Trump tweeted this out. I kid you not. Check this out if you haven't seen it yet.
The war in Syria, and you may actually hear from grown-up reporters who are lying through their teeth or ignorant beyond imagining that, oh, the war in Syria, yes, Russia intervened in Syria. Well, do you know that that Obama tasked the CIA to overthrow the Syrian government starting 4 years before Russia intervened? What kind of nonsense is that? And how many times did the New York Times report on Operation Timber Sycamore, which was the presidential order to the CIA to overthrow Bashar al-Assad? 3 times in 10 years. This is not democracy. This is a game. And it's a game of narrative. Why did the U.S. invade Iraq in 2003? Well, first of all, it was completely phony pretenses. It wasn't, oh, we were so wrong, they didn't have weapons of mass destruction. They actually did focus groups in the fall of 2002 to find out what would sell that war to the American people. Abe Shulsky, if you want to know the name of the PR genius. They did focus groups on the war. They wanted the war all the time. They had to figure out how to sell the war to the American people, how to scare the shit out of the American people. It was a phony war. Where did that war come from? You know what? It's quite surprising. That war came from Netanyahu, actually. You know that? It's weird. And the way it is that Netanyahu had from 1995 onward the theory that the only way we're going to get rid of Hamas and Hezbollah is by toppling the governments that support them. That's Iraq, Syria, and Iran. And the guy's nothing if not obsessive. And he's still trying to get us to fight Iran this day, this week. He's a deep, dark son of a bitch, sorry to tell you. Because he's gotten us into endless wars, and because of the power of all of this in the U.S. politics, he's gotten his way. But that war was totally phony. So what is this democracy versus dictatorship? Come on. These are not even sensible terms.
when Trump is tweeting out this discussion or any part of this discussion, you guys just saw that clip from, what is that saying? How is Trump throwing? Is he throwing Netanyahu under the bus there, and then saying we're gonna have all hell break out in the Middle East if they don't get back the hostages? So this is both sides. He's playing both sides of this. I know there's a lot. I know people personally. We know people on the show, people that have been supportive of our show that have voted for Trump, saying that he's doing this. You guys heard this term, 5D chess. 5D chess. I don't know what that means anymore. It seems to me he's all over the place. But we can tell you this: the timing of him tweeting out just the clip of the little part of Jeffrey Sachs calling him a son of a bitch. This happened right after that. As you know, the inauguration, we're going to be covering this on Thursday with Craig Pasta, and we're going to have Don DeBar on with us. We're going to be discussing this. We're counting down the days to the inauguration, but this happened immediately after he tweeted this out. Netanyahu cancels his trip to DC for the inauguration. Now we're in a weird place now, because now are we understanding that Netanyahu is looking at Trump as kind of a loose cannon that he can't trust? Kind of got a little Joker element to him. There has to be an order to things. We know there's an order to things. Everybody has to be in line for Israel, and so even the fact that he's tweeting that out a week before he's supposed to be in his inauguration, and now Netanyahu can't make it. I mean, this is very, very interesting timing on that. So keep an eye on that. And again, we're going to be doing a deep dive on the lead up to the inauguration on the next show on Thursday, because there's stuff happening every day on that. We don't have time to get into a lot of it, but we know that the security amped itself up after Netanyahu cancels. Isn't that interesting? So we just found that out this morning. The security amped itself up. You would think that if the prime minister, who's wanted for crimes against humanity, for genocide he's committing right now, wanted by the International Criminal Court in several countries, there's only 4 countries he's not wanted in. The U.S. is one of 4. He cancels his trip here, and now we amp up security. Very interesting. So we're going to look closer at that on the next show.